Hello and welcome to Talk a Good Game, and it's a preview of the second game of 2018 as West Ham go to Wembley to face Spurs, where they won their in 2017. Nicky, thanks for joining us. What's your thoughts on our opponent Spurs?
What? Sorry, Jeff. Say it again.
What's your opponent? What's your thoughts on Spurs?
On Spurs, very good outfit, I'm afraid, and I don't like saying that. Organised, deadly, dangerous going forward. But beatable, as we've done once this season. Nearly got back to a draw at the London Stadium. Listen, no matter how good Spurs are, no matter how bad we are, under the lights at Wembley, you never know.
Mike, what about yourself? What's your thoughts on Tottenham Hotspur?
They're a very good side, mate. Very good side. There were some good players. But I think ultimately their best or their crowning glory is their manager. He organises them brilliantly. And they will be really well set up for us. But as Mickey's already said, Spurs against us is something different, isn't it? We've got a habit of turning them over and mucking up their plans. But, you know, they are a very, very good side. And they need to win. They're 4 points behind Liverpool in fourth. They need to win.
Saying that, Nicky, what do you think they'll finish in the top four, Nicky? Liverpool's hit four, Man U in there, City in there, Chelsea are looking good, and then you've got Arsenal as well. Do you think Tottenham will manage to get into the top four this season?
No, I don't. I think Liverpool will stay there. Liverpool look very impressive. They need to win tomorrow. It'll put a point behind Liverpool, but I don't know. I just think problems with the stadium at the beginning. They didn't settle too well at the beginning. They won't get there. There's too many big sides up there now. Maybe a bit of fun. Arsenal are going to be putting their tails as well as Liverpool coming to the game. I just think it's a bit much for Spurs this year to the top, but they'll be there or thereabouts. That's for sure. They're not going to be dropping down the table and joining us down the bottom of the league anytime soon. But that's wishful thinking from my part. But no, I don't think they'll get the top four this year.
Mike, do you agree with that? And if so, how far off are Spurs off what is surely their end game, which is a title challenge?
They're a stadium away from a title challenge, in my opinion, Gio. I mean, the key thing they've had is they've got to play at Wembley for a season, and that, as we discovered, when you move stadium, it's always going to muck you up. Yeah, they're going to have real issues playing there, in my opinion. I think they have had real issues playing there, and it's already set them back. Even though it seems to have adjusted a bit, they lost a lot of points at home early in the season. Not a lot. There only needs to be 6 or 7, and you're marked for a top 4 place. So I'm going to nick it. I think Liverpool will nick it. But I think they're playing a slightly longer game. I think maybe in 2 or 3 seasons' time, they'll be right up there for the title.
If they keep their players, that is. Nicky, speaking of their players, obviously Kane, I know you're describing as well class, but behind Kane, they've got quite a lot of talent. Is there anyone what one do you fear the most out of, say, Son, you've got Eriksen, you've got Dele Alli? What one would you pick out as a danger man if not Kane?
It's Eriksen, isn't it? It's he's proper world class. He is. He's someone that makes the midfield tick. And that's as we're discovering, midfielders of that quality are very hard to find. And out of that Bale money that they spent, they wasted a lot of it. But he's one of the big success stories. But I do also like the look of Son. Obviously, we see him in the cup game. Magnificent game every time he's played against us. Obviously, last year at the Lane, we was 2-1 up, and it was really his influence that changed the game. So yeah, he's a very dangerous player. Not too worried about Dele Alli, but that'll come to bite me in the arse, I'm sure, because he's not been great this season, has he? And with him being a London derby, if he's playing, it gives me a bit of hope, because there's always that chance that he might fling an arm at someone or go to the top of the ball with someone. He's got that petulance in him, so he could see red. But we've got players that can see red as well. But yeah, Christian Eriksen for me is the one that I'm most worried about. He just makes everything tick and puts them on a plate for Kane.
Yeah, I have to agree. I can only echo what you two have said. I think top 4 might be tough for them this year. I think, again, through in the Champions League could actually be almost like their downfall in disguise, actually, that they've got I think it would have been a blessing if they got put out of that Champions League so they could focus on top four. But like Mike said, it's a long game for them, but they need to keep, if they can keep those players, I don't think they're far off a title challenge, actually. I think they're only 2 or 3 players short. If they keep,
to be honest with you, apart from the team that I think are going to pip them to it, I think are going to be very close to challenging for a title. Liverpool, I thought they was only a couple of centre halves away, and they've just signed one. They signed another one in the summer. I think they'll get top 4, and I think you're going to see real moves from Liverpool. But that's down to Tottenham. We're not nowhere near that, so I don't really give a monkeys, to be honest.
Indeed. Now let's talk about West Ham then. Mike, there's that old myth in football, you never change a winning team. Do you stick with that, or do we need to see some changes, given that it's our second game in 3 days and it was a last-minute winner against West Brom?
Well, we're definitely going to see some changes, in my opinion, largely because Creswell went off after kicking a ball with something. He kicked the ball and went off, and it obviously injured, and that was the end of him. That looks like a sort of muscle thing or something, so I'd be surprised if he's playing. Unless basic Carroll struggles to play 2 games in a week, let alone 2 games in 2 days. So I'd be really surprised if Carroll's playing. It'd also be the wrong choice, I think, to play against Spurs.
Who would you replace Carroll with then, Mike, if you were to remove him?
That's a good question. Is Antonio fit? Do we know?
I think so, no. I'm not sure. David Moyes has done his press conference, so our team uses sketchy, to say the least.
I'll go with Hernandez and Arnautovic up front. You've got like Spurs. You know what they're going to do. They're going to attack very narrow, because that's what Spurs generally do. Which will actually feed. That's why we often get a result from in the last few years, because we can defend narrow with 3 centre backs and squeeze that space. They will also push right up, which means if we can play out of defence quickly and over the top, and we've got somebody with a bit of pace, maybe Chicharito, Hernandez, whatever you want to call him, and Arnautovic, then we might be able to play them on the break a bit. I know I'm casting at straws, but I think that's the best we're going to do. I would imagine we're going to have Noble, Rice and Obiang in midfield. I hope so anyway.
Well, no Lanzini, that's brave of you, Mike. Nicky, what about yourself? I mean, Nicky, Andy Carroll scored 2 against West Brom. Can you drop him for this one? I mean, the geezer must be buzzing, or do you need to just say, look, you're not right for this game, out you come?
To me, with Spurs, Mike said they play a very high game. So a bit of pace in behind, he's not going to give you that. He doesn't give you that mobility that even someone like Diafra Sakho would give you. If he's feeling a bit hard up front with Antonio not playing. If Antonio's playing, he always has a good game against Tottenham. But as you say, was he saving him for tomorrow? Is he just injured in general? I don't know. But Andy Carroll, I think, let's see where we are at 70 minutes and then let him loose on them, because I think that's where we can, when we need someone to start battering them around, if it's a little bit tight, if we're really getting beat badly, then chuck him on and see if he can ruffle a few feathers. But I would drop him, I would, because as Mike just said there, it's not his type of game. I don't know whether Alderweireld's but he always seems to have a good game against Carroll. He's good in the air. He's not going to have as easy ride as he did against West Brom. Pace in behind. And Arnautovic, who's looked really quick deceivingly quick over the last few games, I think will have more effect up there with someone like Hernandez playing off him.
What about the midfield then, Nicky? Martin Noble come on, impressed. Surely goes into the starting 11, but which one do you remove, or do you keep Noble out?
If I could, I'd take them both out, honestly. I watched the 2 centre midfielders, and I noticed this about Cech especially. Obiang, he can have the odd good game alongside Noble. Together, it's like they're like chalk and cheese. They're so unworkable together. They don't work the same. What am I trying to say here? They're like a gate. They just open up and let people run through them, the pair of them. There's no sort of still there. Nobody seems to know what the other one's doing. Nobody seems to be checking on what the other one's doing. Cech Kyoto especially. has been absolutely terrible for me. I've been watching him over the last few games because I've been noticing he's having a few bad games. He does nothing. He doesn't put in a challenge. He doesn't win a second ball. He's not anywhere near any of the midfield runners. He's not bombing forward anymore. He's not dropping back and defending him. I don't know what he's doing. If he's feeling brave and Cresswell's there, I would suggest Noble goes in with Obiang and Czech drops to the back. I think he'll do well at the back tomorrow. And I think he has better games there. Not as much responsibility to come and get the ball. Just it's going to be backs to the wall tomorrow. I'd stick Czech in defence, Noble and Obiang in the middle, with Lanzini, and just let them come at us and check. But in midfield this season, he's been awful.
I agree with that. I would put Chiatti at the back. I would put Noble in the middle, but I'd actually put Rice in the middle with Noble and Lanzini. But one other position I want to quickly touch on, Mike, right wing back, Zabaleta gets targeted for pace recently. West Brom sort of went over to our left side defensively because they knew that's where all the attacks come from. The left Zabaleta wide open because they knew he couldn't get forward. Do we need to change this? Because as we spoke about earlier, Son's up there on the left wing. Davies is likely the one behind him who's an attacking left back. Do we need to make plans for Zabaleta?
For this game, I agree with you in principle, by the way. I completely agree. But for this game, I don't think we're going to be playing wing backs. I think we're going to be playing 5-3-2. That's it. Or even 5-3-1-1. I think Zabaleta will play. And I can't think, unless you're going to play with, say, Rice at right back, someone out of position, right, who looked very good left wing back, let's face it. But maybe we can play him there or something if you're that concerned about him. Will be cream crackered because he played 2 days ago. I don't know. But normally the problem with Zabaleta is the minute he encroaches up the park, he leaves himself a lot to do to get back, and that's where he gets caught out. I think that whoever is playing in that position will be playing as a fullback. We'll be playing with 5 at the back. Let's forget the wing back thing. That's what we're doing to contain them, or we'll be playing long balls to try and counter-attack.
Nicky, we beat West Brom, so it's tomorrow night against Spurs. Is this sort of bonus points for us? Is it pressure off, or is it a case of now you're at the bottom, there's no such thing as games that you can sort of write off?
No, I don't think there is. You're going to be an idiot to sit here and say, yeah, of course we're going to go and beat Spurs. I mean, they're a very good outfit. But you can't afford to roll over. If we were sitting in 7th, 8th, you could turn around and go, oh, yeah, this is just, if we get anything out of this is a bonus. But you've got to scrap for every point, and even if it is a point tomorrow. See sort of West Brom the other day, bottom of the league, go and scrap with Arsenal, undeservedly maybe. Swansea give Spurs a good go yesterday. I watched the highlights from that game, and although Spurs come out 2-0 winners, Swansea really give them a game, and I think that's all we ask for. If we come away with no win, nobody's going to be downtrodden, and it's going to be sort of expected. But as long as we go there and put a good account of ourselves, don't go and do what we did against Arsenal in the cup and not have any fight. Don't try and save yourself for the Huddersfield game next week. Go out there and give it a good go. And if you come, it is a bit of a bonus. But you can't afford to just roll over and say, oh, well, let's play this one and this one and this one, because next week we've got Huddersfield, which is a more winnable game. We've seen that before, and it doesn't work out. For it, London derby, under the lights, as I say. We normally turn up against Spurs anyway, but just make sure everyone's committed. And we've got half a chance, and only half a chance, but you've got to scrap for every point when you're down there, because you lose this one and the other teams pick up points next week and you only get a draw, then you're back where you started.
What about yourself, Mike? Nicky doesn't seem too confident there. Are you slightly more confident, Mike?
I'm a bit more confident. We've already beaten them at Wembley, let's face it, right? This season. I know it was extraordinary, but that's the sort of game it is. It is an extraordinary game. I don't think we can roll over and die. It's Spurs away, right? We can never do that against Spurs, and I think Moyes must know that. Surely he must know. He wants any chance getting West Ham fan base on board. He needs to be able to produce some kind of performance in this game. I think he'll just try and contain them and play them on the break. And I think we can nick a point. Yeah.
I'm not as confident as you, Mike. I'm reasonably optimistic, a bit like Nicky's coming across. Sort of, we know we can turn up and do it if we put the heart in. I'm just, after the West Brom game, I know we won, but I don't feel I think if Tottenham played us at the London Stadium on Tuesday, they would have had that game wrapped up by half time. I do think that. And I think if we turn up with that sort of performance on Thursday, I think we could get our pants pulled down, to be honest with you. It depends what we turn up with. And the team selection is massive. You two were right earlier. We have to play counter-attacking football, but I think he's going to keep Carroll up front. He scored 2. David Moyes likes Andy Carroll. And if that happens, I'm not sure that's the right way we should be approaching this game. But saying that, I'm not expecting anything out of this game, so that sort of makes it a little bit easier, if you like, to watch. But Nicky, this game has thrown up loads of goals in the past. These two going 3-2, 3-2, 3-2 quite often. What's your score prediction for this one?
0-0. No. In all seriousness, I think it'll be tight. We always make it tight. I think there's going to be lots of drama, but I think it's going to go 2-1 either way, and I'm going to swing it to us. As I said, you'd have to be a fool to predict it, but I'm a fool, so I'm going to go with my heart rather than my head. So yeah, 2-1.
2-1. Mike, what about yourself? What score prediction are you going for on Thursday?
1-1, mate.
1-1. I'm going to go.
They'll be as knackered as we are. Let's face it. So yeah.
I'm going to go 3-1 Spurs, but I think it's going to be a good performance by us, actually. At the end of the day, they've just got... We don't even have a squad right now. That's the thing. Our bench is... you look at who you could potentially bring in. The only senior players is Hernandez and Ayew. The rest are all teenagers, and there's just not much to choose from at all. I think Spurs have got world class, particularly. But anyway, that's it from us. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new. We assume you've already subscribed to West Ham Fan TV for Nicky's fan, but you haven't, go do that as well. And we'll be back tomorrow night with our review, hopefully celebrating a nice 3 points for West Ham. Let us know what you think in the comments, and we'll catch you in a bit.